Very good morning, students. Myself, L.K. Tripathi, assistant teacher from LP Public School. Dear students, we have been studying chapter 4, history. The topic is tribal communities and the colonial state. Dear students, now we shall see the next topic from the same. That is impact of colonial rule on tribal life. What was the impact of colonial rule on tribal life? How did they get affected? Prior to the colonial rule, the tribal societies had lived in relative isolation for hundreds of years. Colonial rule threw a deep impact on the tribal societies of India. As the colonial rule expanded, the social and cultural life of these people underwent several changes. Many previously unadministered tribal areas were brought under the control of the British. Outsiders who had not been keen to go into these areas previously could do so under the protection of the colonial state. With commercialization of land, expansion of cultivation, and demand for cash revenues, outsiders settled down in tribal areas. As a result, large tracts of tribal land were transferred to non-tribal outsiders. As when colonial rule established in tribal areas, the tribal people felt uneasy and uncomfortable because they lived in their own manner and own traditional culture. When new people or outsiders enter in their areas or territories, they become uneasy and uncomfortable. Outsiders settled down in tribal areas to establish different types of infrastructure like industries, roads, railway networking, and so other types of commercial activities. The tribal people were practically deprived of all rights. As a result, so many people
काम करे कितने बच्चे हैं कनेक्ट कर सकते
कैसे मालूम
चेक करने वाला नहीं रहेगा
वीडियो बना रहा है
वीडियो बना रहे हैं अच्छा क्लास नहीं बना रहे
So, the tribal people were practically deprived of all rights. While in principle, the colonial state followed a policy of non-intervention in tribal matters. The colonial laws and rules work against such benevolent desires. Let us now look at some of the key factors that led to substantial changes in tribal societies during the colonial rule. Now we shall see what type of changes came into the tribal society after colonial rule. Now second, that is administration of tribal area. The British allowed tribal chiefs to continue enjoying their land titles over a group of villages, but they were told to administer these under British control and supervision, and according to British laws in India, British land revenue rules, British police regulations, British forest laws, etc. came to govern tribal areas as well. Thus, the tribal chiefs lost much of the authority which they had earlier enjoyed. Means after entering outsiders or establishing colonial rule, all the tribal people had to lose their identity and freedom, and so many types of rules and laws were imposed over them, such as British police regulations, British forest laws, etc., came to govern tribal areas as well. As a result, the tribal chiefs lost much of the authority which they had earlier enjoyed. Now let us see land settlement. How did land settlement take place in tribal areas? To ensure additional and regular supply of money from the tribal areas, the British introduced land settlement. So they forced the tribe who practiced shifting agriculture to settle down at one place, so that land under cultivation could be measured and revenue could be fixed. The tribal groups who practice shifting agriculture, especially those living in northeast India, protested as they found it difficult to stick to stick to as they found it difficult to stick to settled cultivation in hilly areas where water is scarce and land is dry. So they were allowed to do their shifting practices or shifting cultivation in those areas which were not suitable for them. Either it was hilly areas where water scarcity was at large amount. Now the next, the system of cash economy. What was the system of cash economy? The colonial rule introduced cash economy in the tribal areas. As a result, groups of merchants, middlemen, and money lenders settled down in tribal areas. They were called Rikus, which meant alliance or outsider. The British also introduced plantation agriculture to ensure regular supply of raw materials for their industries in England. They forcibly acquired large tracts of agricultural and previously forested lands from tribal groups and weakened their economy. This was the system of cash economy. They introduced, means colonial introduced so many cash economy in that area. As a result, the group of merchant, middlemen, and money lenders settled down near their areas, and they were called Bikus. It means alliance और outsiders. बिकुस का मतलब होता था बाहरी लोग जो आकर के वहाँ बस गए थे. Not only that, British also introduced plantation agriculture, which was beneficial for the raw material, and they were supplied to the industries of England, and forcibly they acquired agriculture areas which were previously forested land from tribal groups. As a result, their economy became weaker. Next, that is British Forest Law. By the mid-19th century, the British had passed a number of forest acts. Some forests which produced commercially valuable timber like Deodar or Sal were declared reserve forest. No one was allowed across to these forests. Now they also brought a new forest law in the tribal areas. Cutting of trees became banned and no outsider was allowed. No tribal was allowed to enter in the forest area. Other forests were classified to protected forest और अन्य तरह के जो फॉरेस्ट थे वो क्लासिफाइड थे प्रोटेक्टेड फॉरेस्ट में. In these forests, some customary rights were given to the tribal people. These were severe punishments and huge fines for those who violated these rules or overstayed in the forest. If anybody could dare to disobey the rules of the colony, they were severely punished and they had to face different types of punishment, fines. But some customary rights were given to these tribal people, means only some small types of things they can get from the forest. Otherwise, 90% they were banned not to take anything from the forest. Thus, many tribal people were forced to migrate to other areas in search of work and livelihood. Those who worked on the plantations of indigo, tea, etc., were paid miserable wages. As a result, they had to leave the places to migrate elsewhere. And also those who worked in the field, they were paid very less amount against their work. Many tribal people were forced to migrate to other areas in search of work and livelihood. Those who worked on the plantation of indigo tea etc. were paid miserable wages. अब यहाँ पर कैश क्रॉप की प्लांटेशन एग्रीकल्चर की खेती होने लगी, इंडिगो की होने लगी और अन्य तरह की. यहाँ अब इनको बहुत कम मजदूरी मिलती थी जिससे इनका जीना और रहना मुश्किल होता था. Tribal responses. Throughout the 19th century, many tribal groups across India rose in armed revolts against their immediate oppressors, such as landlords, outsiders, and money lenders, and also against the ultimate oppressors, the British government and officers. And during the 19th century, so many tribal groups in all over India rose arms revolt. They became very ignorant and aggressive against all such types of oppressive policies of landlords, money lenders, and so many other groups of officers. The main features of these tribal revolts are: these revolts were autonomous and in rare cases enjoyed the support of other groups of society, especially the educated middle classes. Most of the revolts were rooted in the tribal belief system and had a strong religious sanction. However, in most cases, violence was the last resort of the tribals and used only when the other methods such as appeals and petitions did not work. Unfortunately, the officers often recorded only the violent bits of the revolt, and that is why most of them look so violent today. Most of the revolts were ruthlessly suppressed, although post the revolt, the British made some efforts to accommodate the demands and protected the tribals from excesses of outsiders and market forces. So, across the country, they raised their voice against the colony, against the British, and they got little support from all over the country. Most of the revolts were ruthlessly suppressed. लेकिन इसमें से बहुत सारे रिवोल्ट्स इनके बुरी तरह से दबा दिए गए. लेकिन यद्यपि बहुत सारे इनका उग्र रूप लेकर के बहुत सारे कुछ डिमांड्स इनके ब्रिटिश ने मान भी लिया था और एक्सेप्ट कर लिया था, लेकिन वो इनके लिए काफ़ी नहीं था. अब हम देखते हैं संथाल रिवोल्ट. द संथाल इनहेबिटेड सम पार्ट्स ऑफ द छोटा नागपुर Plateau, Bengal and Bihar. The Santhal rebellion was as much against the British police and revenue officials as it was against the oppression of outsiders like the zamindars, the moneylenders who were known as Bhikkhus. Under the leadership of two brothers, Sidhu and Kanu, they met in large number in June 1855. Sultan, actually the hero of Santhal rebellion, was Sidhu and Kanu. They consolidated other tribals against the British to fight. As a result, they met together in large number in June 1855. They cut off postal and railways communications. Between Bhagalpur and Rajmahal, and were in complete कंट्रोल ऑफ दिस एरिया. इन्होंने यहाँ पर रेलवे बंद कर दिया, पोस्टल सर्विसेज बंद कर दिया और पूरी तरह राजमहल को कब्जे में कर लिया और पूरी तरह से अपने कब्जे में सबको ले लिया. Armed with sword and poisoned arrows, they attacked every outlying Europeans bungalow and killed some British railway and police officers. The Santhal mainly used the practice of guerrilla warfare. The authorities were taken by surprise and panic. Stricken people fled by the thousands. When the rebels were persuaded by the British forces, they took shelter in the thick jungle. Till February 1856, they showed no sign of submission and were openly at war with the British. That's all. Now we are going to stop the video. Next we shall see tomorrow. Till then, goodbye. Good day.